We meet the successful Latino behind the big sensation entertainment known as Boogie Nights, and we welcome back the National Association of Hispanic Nurses and the important stroke awareness message from a stroke survivor. It's so here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. The ultimate and ageless music of the 70s and 80s is what propels the brand known as Boogie Nights. Behind the national brand that has become a big hit is Dave Pena, a Latino from right here in South Jersey. Dave, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here on Latino Motion.
And I just had the pleasure of going to Boogie Nights for the very first time.
For the first time?
This past weekend, and it was a wonderful experience.
That's great. What did you think?
It was just wonderful.
Cool.
We had a very good time. So you're the man behind it all. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started.
Sure. I spent a lot of time in the entertainment business. At a really young age, when I was 13, I worked in radio. So I worked in radio as a rock DJ. From being a rock DJ, I had a local radio program that was popular with a group of like rockers or hard rockers. A nightclub owner in New York listened to the program and realized that by hiring me as a club DJ, they could also bring a crowd, and I would have a following and the ability to bring in a crowd through my radio program. So by the time I was 15 years old, I was working for a nightclub. And through the nightclub business, I was able to meet a lot of fun, interesting characters, rock bands, famous musicians. So I was able to MC, meet with everybody, get an idea of the bar.
From an early age, we're looking at for a way not to really do real work. Is that what
Exactly. The whole point is it takes a lot of work to get out of real work. And it's actually more work to get out of real work. And the thing is, the entertainment business, if you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. And I realized that, life is long. You got to work, a long time. You're going to always have to pay the bills. So you might as well do something you like. And it's not always the easiest thing to do. So it's a lot of twists and turns. So it went from radio into nightclubs. Then it went to television, which is another weird twist. I worked for Japanese television for most of the 1990s in New York City. And through there, I also realized a lot of my friends from back home were opening up little bars or clubs in the East Village of New York. And I was realizing, I just started a family at the time, and I realized, I need some extra money, and I feel like I could do that too. And it's also, the bar business and the nightclub business and the entertainment business is all very much intertwined. What you do here in television, what people do in radio, or whatever it might be, is really just it's like a good combination of energy and.
I know your dad is Peruvian, was Peruvian, and certainly he taught you the good work ethics.
Absolutely.
You used to sell hot dogs with your dad, correct?
Yes, my father is from Peru. He came to the United States in the late 50s. At the very early age, he told me, you have to learn this, that, and the other thing. Truthfully, everything he wanted to teach me, I didn't want to learn. I didn't want to learn how to fix the car. I didn't want to learn. He was a contractor. He worked in shipping and receiving. He had like 4 different jobs. On the weekends, we would go out and sell hot dogs. And probably one of my favorite memories of all time is me, my mother, my father, and my brother loading up a hot dog truck on the weekend because it was the one thing that we owned. And it was the one way for us to have an entrepreneurial enterprise. It was a hot dog truck, but it was phenomenal. The experience of seeing cash changing hands and people ordering from us, and listen, we actually had like a Santana 8-track in the truck. It was a fantastic experience.
was part of it.
Music,
but
here's the thing, music and also the service industry. You know, music, serving people, and also entertainment. All of it combined is what really led up to
so
the
let's
nightclub
bring
business.
this home a little bit
Yeah.
now in terms of 70s and 80s type music. What drove you to that and to open that kind of theme disco, basically?
Well, it's really supply and demand. So if we're looking about South Jersey and Atlantic City, especially, let's say, when we first started in the mid-2000s, most of the nightclubs were catered to the ages from 21 to 28. So every casino or every nightclub impresario was trying to create something that's going to hit that target market. So if everybody's going for that market, what happens for the rest of the customer base that is my age or even older, and so there really wasn't anything for that. So it really was a question of supply and demand. It wasn't being served in this market, and so we decided if we cater and bring people back to that great period of the 70s and 80s, when I think music, pop culture, fashion, sports, everything was larger than life, and it was so brand new. The industry was probably at its biggest and most money making at that time.
What's very interesting is that when I went to the club last week, it wasn't just people your age and my age.
Right.
I mean, you had young folks there as
Right.
well. You had all sorts of people that were enjoying the music.
Yeah, that's the magic of Boogie Nights. A lot of clubs, there's a lot of retro clubs all around the country. That's not anything original. Boogie Nights has this ability of creating characters, interaction with the customers, bringing in celebrities, giving the young customer base as well as an older customer base that same energy and excitement. So if you went to Studio 54 in New York and you felt that excitement, guess what? Somebody 21 or 22 years old coming to Atlantic City, to Tropicana, to Boogie Nights, feels that same excitement because we make it more over the top.
And I could feel all the excitement that you convey.
I'm passionate about it.
We're going to
Yeah.
continue this discussion. We're going
Yeah.
to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Join the party at Atlantic City's funkiest, grooviest, baddest, most totally awesome dance club. Boogie Nights, the ultimate 70s and 80s dance club. Every Friday and Saturday night, Boogie Nights brings back the magic of the 70s and 80s for the ultimate, most over-the-top party experience.
It's great sound system, great lights, great music, and a great crowd.
Characters, celebrity guest performers, and the hottest DJs bring the party on our light-up dance floor under the largest disco ball in Atlantic City.
Like, I can't wait to come back and get a group of friends together and get all dressed up.
Boogie Nights, the ultimate 70s and 80s dance club. Located on the casino floor behind Tango's Lounge in Tropicana.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. We're back with Dave Pena. He is the owner of the Boogie Nights brand. And David, we were just talking about all the excitement that you have around Boogie Nights. Yeah. But tell me a little bit about it. Started at the resorts, it's now at the Tropicana, and you're also branching out. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we started in 2007 at resorts. Then we moved over to Tropicana in Atlantic City in 2012. It was a major expansion. A much bigger room. We were able to start from scratch and do the room exactly how we wanted to. And the Boogie Nights brand actually expanded out to the Midwest, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, St. Louis, Missouri. We're down at the Hard Rock in Biloxi, Mississippi. We're also in Evansville, Indiana at a Tropicana property. We also have a Boogie Nights party pit up in New England at Twin River. The Boogie Nights brand has really expanded, and I feel like there's endless possibilities with the brand. It's turned into, at Tropicana Atlantic City, what's part of the fun experience of going to the club is leading up to the club, we also have a line of Boogie Nights slot machines, Boogie Nights party pit, and table games. So let's say you're a little bit partied out from dancing and you're with a husband or wife or whatever, and you want to break away just for a few minutes and just play the tables, you can. And I think that's what's part of the great experience of Boogie Nights is it becomes an overall party and atmosphere.
Tell me a little bit about another venture that you're also undertaking, and that's Planet Rose.
Yes, I should have started with Planet Rose because actually where I was leading with the New York story is a lot of my friends opened up clubs in New York. So my boss at the time, who I used to work for Japanese television, him and I partnered up to create Planet Rose in New York City, in Avenue A in the East Village. Small little place, but a lot of fun. A lot of celebrities would go there. Jimmy Fallon, a lot of the cast members of Saturday Night Live would come there and test out skits that involved music, and they would party there until like 4 in the morning until we had to kick them out. And it was a great atmosphere. What we did was we created that same atmosphere and we brought it to Atlantic City when they were opening the Quarter at Tropicana. So we were at that infancy when things were first, Borgata was coming in, Trop was creating the Quarter, and it was a very exciting time. So Planet Rose is really the first baby in Atlantic City. If it wasn't for Planet Rose, I wouldn't have been able to go on and do Boogie Nights, for sure, because I think it was the reputation of Planet Rose being able to be this karaoke bar that people can party and have a good time in all different age generations, and especially that bachelorette party business and celebratory business. I think that's really what allowed people to listen to my idea for Boogie Nights and create the next step. So I'm very thankful to Planet Rose.
So what's next for Dave Pena?
I think expanding both the Boogie Nights and the Planet Rose brand. I'd like to bring them around the country. We are definitely working on bringing Boogie Nights as a touring show, so not necessarily only as a nightclub, but now Boogie Nights will go on the road as a touring production, very much like Cirque du Soleil or something like that. My company, Pena Productions, also does a lot of marketing consulting work. Really, I take it step by step, and I think the next, really where I'm really passionate right now is expanding those two brands that have been really good to me and what people really like.
Now tell me a little bit more about the characters. We have a few minutes.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the characters.
The characters, I think, are essential to the Boogie Nights brand. Mr. Boogie, Roller Girl. It's almost like Disney meets Studio 54. Do you know what I mean? So it's a disco meets Disney. It's important because it's actually has ambassadors that are interactive with the customers. That's very rare. In nightclubs sometimes, people might not even look you in the eye. That's unacceptable at Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights is one of those places that we look the customer in the eye, we engage them, we know it's their birthday, we take them up on a catwalk. I don't know if you've seen that when you went to the club, but we take them up on a catwalk, make a big deal, make a big experience. If they're going out celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, whatever it is, we know that it's an important night. They decided to come and party with us. So the characters are our extension, our way. The DJ can't run out and go bring somebody up on the catwalk or bring them on the dance floor, but Mr. Boogie, Roller Girl, Mirror Man, our mirror ball head, all those type of characters can. And what's also cool, Bert, is if you come on any given night, any of your favorite celebrities from the 70s or 80s that might be performing at the Tropicana showroom, guess what? They will pop up and hang out at the club. Not paid to be there, but they hang out there because they want to hang out there.
You're going to have to give me the heads up.
I will definitely give you the heads up. Well, I'll give you a heads up. Casey is coming at the end of summer. He loves the club.
Dave, thank you so much for sharing this information, valuable entertainment information for our audience. And stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Latino Motion. Hola, my name is Bert Lopez, and I'm on the set of the public affairs television program, Latino Motion, located at the beautiful campus of Stockton University. It is here in this modern, high-definition studio that we tape our weekly 30-minute television program. Latino Motion highlights issues impacting the local South Jersey Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions by Latinos to our society. As executive producer and host of Latino Motion, I'm proud to announce our partnership with the National Association of Hispanic Nurses, the Garden State chapter. This partnership will assure consistent outreach to our South Jersey community on important health topics. I want to thank Elena Cuetro, president of the Garden State chapter, for helping to advance this partnership. Working together to strengthen our community is how collaboration wins. Bienvenidos and best wishes to the members of the National Association of Hispanic Nurses.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. We're now going to join the National Association of Hispanic Nurses, the Garden State chapter, with this month's important health tip. Let's listen in. Motion. Stroke awareness is an important health topic especially for Hispanics who have a higher risk for stroke at a younger age. To discuss this further is Brunilda Quiñones with the National Association of Hispanic Nurses, the Garden State chapter. Brunilda, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you.
There is a health disparity with strokes, and I know that May was Stroke Awareness Month, and we're now into June, but it's still a very important topic for many Latinos. Tell me a little bit about that disparity that exists in the Latino community.
Well, stroke actually happens to be the fourth leading cause of death in the United States, not necessarily Hispanics, and also the leading cause of adult disability in the United States. But where it's important for Hispanics to have awareness would be due to the risk factors and also the statistics that show that 1 of 3 Hispanic women will have a stroke, and out of every 4 men, 1 of those men will also have a stroke. Hispanics are more prone to stroke at a younger age in comparison to other ethnicities.
So I know that this is an important health issue for everyone in the Latino community, but this is also a personal and important health issue for you. Tell me a little bit about your own history with stroke.
I had my first stroke at the age of 30. It was actually on my 30th birthday. I would have never imagined having a stroke or even having to worry about having a stroke, but I did. It was due to stress. It was unexpected. I did not know what was happening. I couldn't understand what the signs and symptoms were.
And that's important to know because how critical is it that once you have a stroke, how critical is it that you are aware of the signs so that you could really rush to the hospital and get help right away?
Actually, it's more than just critical. It's pretty much something that the family should also be aware of. For example, some of the things that after you've had a stroke that you should be aware of are what we call the acronym FAST, which would be when it could be feeling of numbness in the face or actually even in the arms. Also the speech, and the most important thing is the time. I'll give you an example. When I had my stroke, I actually started feeling like a tingling sensation. I felt some type of heartburn and indigestion. Not necessarily are all these symptoms of a stroke, but in my case it was. The most important thing was getting me to the hospital immediately in order for them to be able to assess me and continue the care.
It is very critical. It's a matter of life and death in often cases to be able to resolve that issue quickly. F for face, A for arms, S for speech, and T for time. Those are the critical things. So that's really keep that in mind because those are the symptoms and the fact that you need to get immediate care to make sure that you're able to survive a stroke and continue to have a healthy life like you're having. Now, you mentioned risk factors. Let's go through some of those risk factors and why it's important that we pay attention to those risk factors.
Well, as Latinos, we love yummy food. And arroz con gandules, pernil, tamales, all of that yummy stuff that a lot of Hispanics tend to eat. And one of the high risk factors in our culture is the fact that we love to eat with fried foods. We love our fried foods. We don't really want to give that up. So when you go to the doctor and the doctor begins to speak to you about cutting back on the oils and also having to start exercising, a lot of our folks like to watch novelas, or they enjoy kind of like walking, but there's not really a lot of vigorous exercise, at least in our older generations. And I would even include myself in that because I'm more of if I have a 5-minute break, then I just want to be able to just sit and relax. Where it's important for us to actually begin to acknowledge that we do need to start getting a little bit more exercise in there and healthy eating, and also making sure that we actually go to the doctor.
That's one of the big problems, right? Is getting that preventive health care is very critical for Latinos to be aware that does help you, and certainly you should have a regular visit at least once a year, correct?
Yes, you should have visits once a year. As Latinos, the woman tends to pretty much be the one that drives everyone crazy, as we say, on top of making sure that her husband gets to go to the doctor, the kids are taken care of, but in reality, she doesn't really take care of herself. So it is important that, daughters, sons, husbands, family, abuelas are able to actually assist in aiding the mom to make sure that she actually goes to her doctor's appointments, goes to her checkups, make sure that everything is okay, gets her blood pressure checked, and also become part of doing more family dynamics of more exercise and healthy eating.
So I know your own experiences shaped your life. Certainly, tell me a little bit about motivation now that you have to continue your education. You're going for your nursing degree and you're working for Robert Wood Johnson as an outreach worker. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm actually very passionate about helping others and also taking on my second career, which would be my nursing career, which I am now pursuing. I've actually become a BLS instructor. So I actually provide classes for CPR, first aid, to not only professionals, but also people out in the community. And I also provide this to our Hispanic community. A lot of the times, we have 8-year-olds that come in with their moms, and we're really just inspired to just continue to spread the word and educate in order for families to become aware of everything that they should be doing in order to have a better health.
Very critical. I wish you a lot of success on your career going forward and certainly becoming RNs pretty soon. Hope you enjoy this week's show, and thank you for joining us once again here on Latino Motion.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas.